Man, oh man, oh man. You know, this is actually getting kind of crazy. This is actually getting kind of crazy. Let's get it. Teacher of the Year finalist couldn't keep away from kids she was charged with having sex with. She is pretty stupid, says the New York Post. And you would think, damn, New York Post is actually sticking coals in the fire with that one, right? And yet the New York Post has this thing where they don't call women who sexually assault or rape these young boys rape. They call it relationships. So they keep skirting around the word. And it's weird, right? Because the New York Post of all news outlets should be more in reality than what it is a lot of times, but they seem to play the game. You know, they also do a lot of articles where it's women who are skimpy. I guess they know that that's going to bring in clicks from the gooners on the conservative side or whatever. Anyway, readers added context they thought what people might want to know. This is rape. That is it. Gender studies for men. Had sex with, raped, says the New York Post. Had sex with, if it's a female, raped if it's a male. It is true. If it is a male criminal, if it is a male offender, it is always considered rape. It's not just have sex with. There's no nice words. But if it is a woman, it is always something nicer. She didn't just have sex with the boy. He was raped by her. Judeo-Christian first world white USA culture. No wonder almost all the white elites got Epstein. See, I look at it like this. This is not a fucking dunk. I know there are some people that they love doing this thing where whenever something works out in their favor, that's their whole stick. Listen to me. I do not give a fuck about how many black people commit crimes. I do not care about how many white people commit crimes. A crime is a crime is a crime is a crime. And for somebody to sit there and boast about, well, your side does it more, so ignore my side. Yes, because over what, 60, 70% of marriages end in divorce. And just because one side cheats more and you got cheated on, you feel better about it because, oh, even though I got cheated on, your side cheats more. You still got cheated on. It should be something that should be looked down pretty much all the time. This Have you guys ever heard about three-tier cake theory? Where it's like you have a three-layered cake, right? And somebody's like, you should try this cake, right? And you're like, what's that fucking smell? And you see this three-tiered cake, right? And on the top level of it looks great. It's like chocolate, ice cream, right? Or and then the second layer now it's still looking good, right? There's a little bit more chocolate, and then on the bottom layer, you find out it's shit, right? It's the third layer, the base of it is shit. The cake is shit, right? The entire cake is now shit. It does not, and then the other person just sitting there, right? This fucking reality bender's just sitting there, go, it's tasty and good. You should try some. The frosting is amazing. It's like, get the fuck away from me, you shit eating fucking. Anyway, white women trying to compete with their male counterparts. I'm afraid of clicking this. I'm not gonna click it. There's a reason for why I block accounts. So, and I'm pretty sure, yeah, we're not gonna click that. This is becoming a national epidemic. White women pedophiles are becoming teachers to get access to kids. Something needs to be done to stop this. Has this officially happened enough times to say all women? Listen, I have this thing that I truly do believe that 100%, once you get numbers that hit a certain point, it seems like a lot of them to all of them, right? So let's say, for example, let's just let's just look at women, right? Let's say 23, 24, 22, 21% of women are fucking rotten, right? 100% fucking rotten. Every woman is going to come out seeming like they're rotten because at some point in your life, the chances of you running into one of these women is fucking high. So you're gonna start seeing. You may not sit there and say all women, because of course it's not all women, but it is a good. Once you get to a certain point, it is a high percentage, and that's all that matters. Perfect example. Once Muslims understand that they have a certain amount of numbers, the demographic and the votes change completely because now they're going to use their power to make sure to vote a certain way so that they get everybody else out and they get their people in. Does that make sense? It doesn't got to be the whole population. It doesn't have to be half the population. It doesn't even have to be 100%, one-fourth of the population, but it gets a little bit close. And once it gets to that point, they do what they want. All right, what else is there? This is becoming a national epidemic. Just want to look at this. I love this. She's a Jew and Jews aren't white. They do this shit. What, yo, what? I know I commented on this one, right? I commented on this one, but I just wanted to see the comments before I got into the article. I don't know. Again, there's this fucking filter, right? There is this fucking filter that white, inferior, superior losers use, right? Where it's like every time their own is doing bullshit, they use this. It's this phenomena. It's like this buffer where they reality bend, and it's judge them based on the individual. But when any other group asks for that, they can't get that. When any other group asks for that, they can't get that. And I've actually had this happen to me during the time that fucking piece of shit stabbed that boy at that school. You know what I'm saying? And you had all your white nationalists rising up, baby. They was ready for I don't know what, because they was gonna get their shit clapped. But they was ready, boy, and I remember I'm sitting here and I'm like, yo, y'all need to chill the fuck out. And this is when the right was pretending not to notice that their side was, you had people in their name going a little bit ballistic, or you had people within their flock getting a little bit extreme or radical. And I guess they tried to ride the wave, but then they slowly went back to being moderate or whatever like this. But we know who you fucking are. And this is gave the birth of Lily Gladys and all of that other stupid shit. But I remember I'm sitting there and I'm like, yo, I don't agree with any of this. In fact, anybody will tell you to stop listening to people on fucking Twitter, because the black voices that you're hearing on Twitter, is it possible that there's fucking trolls that enjoy anything that happens when a white person has something bad happen to them compared to black people happening to them? Don't you think that there's trolls on both sides? No, you guys need to understand and respect this fucking country. This is a white country. I don't understand why it's so hard for black people to take, to take responsibility. I was like, first and foremost, I don't commit any crimes. Why would I take responsibility for what, 3% of 90, 100%? Why should I take responsibility for a group? And mind you, when you say black people, I'm guaranteeing you don't know what the fuck you're talking about, because you group a whole bunch of people that are not black in the black category, because you don't care to understand the difference. You don't respect the difference. You consider us all Africans or all black. But when it comes down to white people, and they love sitting there and they love shitting on the Jews, right? The racist white people, they love attacking the Jews, or they go after the Muslims. Middle Eastern Arabs are white. Since 1960, they've been categorized as white, just like Italians have been categorized as white. Now, I can understand the difference. Just like Jews, I've always been categorized as white. One more time, Google. Jews have lived in Europe for over 2,000 years. Almost 3,000. 80% of Jews come from Europe. Now, if we want to play the game that all people who have melanin in their skin, they're just all black, then I play this game. I do this all the time. I have absolutely no problem with this, right? You like it, I fucking love it. And white people, for some reason, racist white people, not normal white people, not white people that don't really understand the difference, because why the fuck would they, right? It is what it is. But racist white people hate when you bring this up, to the fact of the matter that Jews share the same DNA as Europeans, because they've been in there for so long busting nuts. Because what ended up happening is that when Jews was pushed out, or wherever the fuck that they was pushed out, and they went to Europe, a lot of the men were killed. It was women. You think these women would, how do you think that they replenished their fucking numbers? You don't think that there's such thing as a black Jew or a Chinese Jew? But 80% of Jews in the world come from Europe. Now let's get into this fucking article. Tired of this shit. Something's wrong with my mouse. It must be dying. Nope, you're not getting nothing from me. Get out of here. Get this shit out of here. Like I said, a crime is a crime is a crime. I don't take no pleasure in watching any fucking group commit fucking crimes. But to sit there and act like your shit don't stink, crazy. 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 Again, they're very selective. They're very selective when it comes down to crimes of their own group. And they literally pretend that it's la la la, we don't see it, don't matter. Anyway, Teacher of the Year finalist refused to cut ties with students she had sex with even after being charged. She's pretty stupid. What the fuck happened here? Whoa, what is happening here? What is this? Why is my mouse dying? Hundreds of protesters in Brooklyn's Bensworth swarmed a proposed homeless shelter site, blocking trucks and clashing with police amid rumors that construction will begin Monday. Oh, so these people don't want a shelter in their neighborhood? See, the thing is, shelters don't automatically make your neighborhood worse. The problem is that these shelters are not up to regulation, right? They're not measured. They're not anything. What you end up having is you end up having a bunch of criminals in these shelters, right? You mix in the main part. Wow, wait, I'm getting off track. Listen, you guys already know when it comes down to the shelter business, I'm very passionate about the fuck goes on in the shelter system because it's a fucking travesty what happens in the shelter system in these fucking cities. It is. It's really bad because you got a lot of good people in the shelters, right? Stuck in the shelters because most people are only one paycheck away from being fucking homeless. And many different fucking reasons. Not everybody's homeless because they want to be homeless. Sometimes circumstance bullshit happens. Bullshit happens. However, yeah, man, Dami's bugging. Anyway, a finalist for Colorado's Teacher of the Year used music and drugs to groom a 16-year-old student for sex, and they continue to contact him even after she was fired with serious charges. Tara Johnson-Swartz. Oh shit, she's Jewish. Tara Johnson-Swartz, 45, has been sentenced to 14 years in prison after being hit with two criminal cases, the first following a grand jury investigation into a relationship with the teen, and the second for continuing to contact him in defiance of court orders not to. She is pretty stupid, I'm not gonna lie, the victim told police after her second arrest. The victim said to the police, calling her an unstable woman, according to the affidavit. Oh, so wait a second. Because she's 45? Is it surprising that somebody at the age of 45 can be unstable? You think that a lot of, again, what's the number you want? Let's lowball it. Let's lowball it. Let's say 21% of women are garbage. Let's say 21% of women, 100% are absolutely garbage. It may be varying levels to it, but 100% should not be dating, and yet they find their way into the dating pool, into marriage, having kids, all of this shit, or into positions of power. Let's say 20. I'm giving it the lowest fucking number. Let's say 21%. Do you think that these women, when they get older, they just become better? And this is not to sit here and say that they can't be redeemed, because anybody can redeem themselves. Do you think that they wish to be really truly redeemed, or they want to become better? No. They're going to be running game until they're fucking 60 to 70 years old. None of that shit matters. Already ruined her life, and she keeps just making it worse. The former teacher at STEM School Highlands Ranch, located outside of Denver, is a predator who will now have to live with that label for decades, Douglas County District Attorney George Broncher said. She began texting and exchanging music playlists in 2024 when the student was just 16 years old, the affidavit showed. She later brought him cigarettes and let him use her marijuana vape pen before they started to have sex, police said. Oh, okay, so wait, she married and has that last name, or she just has that last name? Because here's the thing: being Jewish, for the most part, it's a religion, right? It's a practice. It's not really anybody could be fucking Jewish, and it's funny because a lot of people, a lot of the women that these fucking dudes accepted as the most beautiful, like Scarlett Johansson was considered the most beautiful women, like back to back fucking records type shit. Scarlett Johansson is fucking Jewish, right? There's a lot of people who are Jewish who have Jewish ancestry, and you get what I'm saying? Like, if man, listen, and I just find it funny because it's like you have people who have Jewish ancestry that don't practice Is it Judaism? I'm not religious. Judaism or whatever the fuck it is. They're just normal fucking people. Should we just sit there and try to skewer all of these people? What about Jewish people who practice and they don't really care for it, but they do it because their family do it? Do we just judge all those people too? What about the ones that do practice the bullshit, but they're not bad people? Do we just skewer these fucking people too? It's so ridiculous. Their relationship was discovered and reported to police in January 2025, 5 months after Johnson-Swartz had been named one of the 7 finalists for Colorado's Teacher of the Year award. School officials immediately suspended her, and she was later fired and banned from campus. However, less than a month later, on February 18, 2025, the student was caught on security camera leaving the school and jumping into her car. He later told investigators she drove him to a nearby neighborhood. She was later indicted and arrested on charges of felony kidnapping, 3 counts of sexual assault on a child, and contributing to the delinquency of a minor. She was released on a $100,000 bond the following day. Of course, she got that Jewish, she got that white money. Listen, I'm gonna just stick the knife deeper. She got that white money. That's all it is. Got that white money. That good old white money. Somebody gonna give her that money. I do truly wonder what it would be like if, say, for example, how America was white, black. That was America. America was white, black. There was no America without white. There was no America without black. Period. There's no way there's blacks and whites. Blacks was in America before America was even formed. Whites was in America before America was formed. White, black. White, black is America. As much as you'll have some people that they hate that fact, you have some black people that feel like as though white people need to go back to Europe. You have some white people that feel like as though blacks need to go to Africa or some stupid shit like this. White, black is America. But I do truly wonder what it would be like for the black American group if they weren't sabotaged so many fucking times. Seriously, what would we be like if we were not sabotaged so many goddamn times? And I know it's real easy and it's real fun to pick out, oh well, all they do is commit crime and more money, more problems. We're talking about before that. It wasn't always this bad. If you go back 60, 70 years when shit was bad, the black American was, we didn't even speak the way, we didn't dress the same way, we didn't act this fucking way. A lot of us didn't. Well, I don't act this way now, but you get what I'm saying. That subculture didn't exist. Of course, we had the creativity, but it wasn't this fucking bad. So I do wonder what it would be like if more black Americans, because now you can't just give fucking reparations to black people and think that shit is gonna work out. First and foremost, I'll tell you right now, I'm afraid of black people getting reparations, and this is not a lie, because first and foremost, you're going to have too many groups trying to jump in a destiny swap and all of a sudden claim to be black, and now you're going to have a lot of people who are mixed claiming to be black. You're going to have people who never who run back to their countries consistently and they don't have no allegiance to America, whatever like this, who have a home in the Caribbean or somewhere in Africa, then claim to be black. You're going to have a bunch of, you know what I'm saying? Like, it would be bad. And then on top of that, it's just like the fucking Native Americans who get paychecks because they got their form of reparations. A lot of them are strung out on fucking drugs. They're drug addicts, a lot of them, right? I am afraid of that shit happening. I would like to see something like that happen. Now that, you got Ghana sitting there and they're trying to destiny swap with black Americans and they're talking about some fucking reparations. Did you guys hear about that shit? There was the Ghanaian president went all the way from fucking Ghana. From Ghana. He skipped all of the bullshit in his country and the other countries in Africa, came to America and started talking about some goddamn reparations. You know what's funny? There was a girl from Ghana that really liked me. This girl's ass was fucking blow. It was kaboom kablow, right? And she was nice and she came from Ghana and she was talking about the Volta Dam, right? And she was talking about how bad Ghana was and the government's completely bad. And let's be real, governments all over the world, it doesn't matter if it's a white government or a black government, they always screw the fucking people over, right? For some reason, and if they're not trying to screw the government over, there's a part of the government that are working to screw the people over and pretend that they're trying to help them. Let's be real here. But I just find it crazy because there's slavery in Ghana right now. There's kids literally dying doing mining. Are you fucking kidding me? There's kids dying right now in Ghana in this man's fucking backyard, and he came for reparations. Nah, dog. It's crazy. Anyway, she was released on bond the following day, but continued to contact the student against court orders, according to the court documents. Over the 4th of July weekend last year, the teacher and the boy ran into each other on back-to-back nights at a music venue in Greenwood Village. The band playing both nights was among those in the playlist the two had shared. At one point, she cornered the teen and told him, "Just say you don't love me." What did I say? What did I say? These women are falling in love with these boys. They're falling in love with these fucking boys. And what did the guy say? The psychiatrist or whatever the fuck it was, the analyzer of this. You have these women who they don't see a difference. Just like I said, they don't see a difference within age. What ends up happening, very manipulative, they're trying to get a do-over on their love because probably their love didn't play out the way that they wanted. So they see these young boys with these girls and probably the prime of their fucking lives, and they're trying to get a mulligan. Now here's the crazy thing, right? 45 years old, you noticed the sex was wild, right? Listen, once a woman turns a certain age, it's either she the freakiest thing and you gotta either she's freaky and it's like whatever, or you gotta reveal it and she's freaky, or it's dry down there and ain't nothing happening. Sex is over, right? You already know. To keep up with that man, you already know. Listen, that boy is 16. After seeing him both nights, Johnson-Swartz continued to text him. The boy and his parents reported the account to the police, and she was arrested again with her new post-teaching job at the fast food restaurant. Oh, she got a job right then and there. The boy said he was not surprised she was unable to stay away from him, calling her an unstable woman. She threw away her entire life for me, and I'm not entirely surprised by the fact that she would then have her trouble letting go because she did throw her life for me. But no, I never told her I love her, and she never said that to me. And she never said that to me, he said, according to the affidavit. Is this motherfucker a villain at 16? And of course, I'm guaranteeing you that if we get into the comments, well, no, if the woman's attractive, if the woman's attractive, then you'll have comments talking about where was these women when I was growing up. I would have loved this kind of thing, because they're fucking degens themselves too, right? They can't hold themselves. Here's the thing: I guarantee you, they wouldn't say this shit in public either. Those type of people. But the thing is, because this woman is, probably not as attractive as what we normally run into, I'm pretty sure that they're gonna be super duper weird. Let's get to the 5 comments and we're done with this video. Why do these stories only appear in the Post? Because MSN wants to sanitize the reputation of American Union teachers. Confronting how many teachers have blurred all professional boundaries would necessitate them examining why. We can't have that because it's the same reason that is causing journalists to abandon their professional standards. No high school boy is going to keep his mouth shut. If these teachers understood half as much about children as they lead us to believe, they would know that. That's not true either. There's plenty of boys that's not going to say a goddamn thing. For example, I'm reporting this type of shit as I do, as it comes across me because it's happening quite often. But I'll keep it a buck with you. If I was a kid and I went through that, I wouldn't have said shit. And I know I wouldn't have said shit because I had something like that already happen with me with a much older woman when I was much younger. You know what I'm saying? And it's not to say, it was wrong. It is wrong, but I'm just keeping it a buck with you guys. I'm just keeping it a buck with you guys. It is happening a lot more, right? Again, hold on, I gotta scratch my back. I can't reach it. Fuck. I want to drill into your head, parents. I want to drill into your head, right? That if it is a place of learning, more than likely in every school, there is a adult teacher relationship, sexual relationship happening. At this point, you got to look at it that way because it is a very real likelihood that it's happening. It may not happen to your kids, right? I would hope not for a lot of people because it does change the way that they view things. For example, when I was much younger and the shit happened to me, I always went after older women, right? So I was 19, 17 or whatever like this, 17, 16. I was going after women in their 30s. I wasn't even attracted to women my own age unless they were unique. I wasn't even attracted to women my own age. Listen, I was a young adult and I wanted an adult. You know what I'm saying? This is gross. Dive beauty pageant contestant loses her teeth on stage. Oh, fuck. Oh, that's crazy. I can't even, yo, you know what's crazy? I can't even look at the comments because the comments are blocked out. You can't click the comments without subscribing. Yeah, you guys are losers. That student is hardly a victim. Was he thinking, was he thinking she was pretty stupid while he was enjoying relations with her? I highly doubt that. Is it 14 months or 14 years? Was she originally given 14 months and then 14 years? The article says years, but the caption says months. I wouldn't be surprised. I wouldn't. Future organizers of the No Kings March. Anyway, that's the video. Catch you guys next time. Peace.